All right, guys. This is the Wine Now, Sweat Later cast with Casey. How are you doing today, Casey?
Catching up, but I'm doing well. Just a long weekend, I think.
Yeah, and you're with family this weekend, right?
Yeah, I ended up being with family this weekend. So just like a series of unfortunate yet fortunate events. I haven't seen my family in a while, but I was supposed to be at the Excalibur Cup this weekend, and we just had some funny, like it was like the most bizarre weekend of my life, but it's cool. We all handle it, in the way we need to handle it. So, but yeah, I'm here. But I get to go home back to Nashville soon and get back on my grind here soon too. So
Do you find you like some structure of just being at home and have like your normal schedule, or do you like traveling?
well, I think that we all like thrive, having our structure and our control of our surroundings and stuff and all the variables in our lives. But, you know, honestly, like I feel like my body has responded so well to coming home, even though all the stressors are going on in my life.
Hmm.
Like I just feel like that maybe coming home and like being with family, your body just responds well to that stuff, especially if you enjoy being around your family too, and they bring you some sort of like relaxation. You know what I mean? Some joy. So just
Absolutely.
like if you go on vacation, your body like is all like amped up and ready to go. Your veins are popping, like you look super lean on vacay, and it's because of that relaxation, variable in there. It's really crazy what it does. You don't realize.
Right. It does make a difference. I know when I was at Nationals, as connected as I felt with my clients there, I then felt disconnected from the clients I wasn't with. So it's weird. It's a weird change.
Yeah, we're super personal about that stuff too. Like we're like, interpersonal, right? That's the right word.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that like, because we wear like, our emotions on our sleeves and stuff like that, and we're so in tune with all that stuff. So like when something is like out of the ordinary, we're just like, huh, wait, you know. So yeah, I get it.
So we're filming on a Sunday, which isn't typical for us. So I changed it up a bit. I know you're not drinking anything today, but I'm actually
Uh,
having one of my favorite drinks, which is a Bloody Mary.
oh
Um,
my gosh.
yeah, I didn't even know I liked these things. And to be honest, Brittany Brinkman, the
Yeah.
she made me find the Bloody Mary, and it just kind of became my favorite drink, which
Yeah. People
definitely,
discover it through other people. It's funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I know on vacation one time I had a Bloody Mary and I was like, wow, I was like, why haven't I been drinking this all along?
it's definitely a good change. I like to have the bacon and everything else in there, and I went through a change where I just didn't have them for a while, but it's good to have them back. You go through phases. And I'm like, oh, I forgot how much I like that. So
Yeah.
definitely.
I mean, like if I could have a mudslide right now, I totally would.
Oh, I bet.
I would have like three of them.
My honeymoon, I had never really had pina coladas before, and they were
What?
unlimited. Yeah, and I found my love for pina coladas on that trip. I probably found an extra 15 or 20 pounds that trip as well. But yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, they're hefty and fun and in calories. So,
Yes.
but
So
yeah, those are the drinks that make you feel like you're on vacation, though. That's
today's
what I'm
topic,
drinking.
I think, is going to be really cool because I don't know anyone who's really covered this. I think it's something that can really help our viewers in terms of safety or feeling safe. And we were going to talk about choosing photographers for photo shoots.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, I mean, I've worked with like a pretty good selection of photographers, but I have had like some circumstances where obviously the comfortability level was a little bit different, or like even the scenery, or just the way that the vibe from the photographer, just things like that. So, and I mean, there's tons in this industry, but I've also worked with photographers outside of like the MPC and IFBB too, and that was actually kind of where I found like my uncomfortability when I was kind of working outside of the industry. So, um, I mean, I can tell you there's photographers I love working with because they're a joy to work with. Like I love working with people. So there's Alan Grigsby. So I actually paid him to work with him. He's down in Miami, And he just has, I mean, his persona, automatically, you just kind of like vibe with him. He's a very nice person, and he's very down to earth, and he really, he really makes you feel good while you're shooting, but he doesn't make you feel uncomfortable. I was like taking my shirt off and everything. Like I just felt, good. So, we got some really awesome shots. It was in my first off season, shoot. So I already kind of felt like uncomfortable, you know what I mean? But everything went really well. We had, Carrie, it's Cornica Makeup on Instagram. And she was there too. And, she even had her daughter there. Like it was very comfortable. So I recommend actually shooting with him. He's a little bit outside the industry, but a lot of people in the industry work with him. And then of course, you got JM, he's always fun to work with too.
That was going to be one of the main ones I mentioned was him because he's inside the industry. Everyone knows him. It's funny because a lot of people are very intimidated to talk to JM, and I think it's just because of the Mannion status, but he's a super nice guy. So if anybody's watching this, definitely don't be afraid to reach out to him or talk to him. My friend Brittany Hamilton just did a shoot with him. I saw a few photos, and they are awesome. They're going to be really good.
Yeah. He's very business oriented, obviously, and super like professional and everything like that. But he's goofy, and he's a great, he's a great storyteller. He always wants to talk. So like, that's always a lot of fun, especially, if it's like your first shoot, like go with JM. He'll make you feel good. So, and you see him everywhere.
Yeah.
He's literally everywhere you are if you're at a show.
Another one with that is Amir Morandi, who shoots a lot of the national shows. He does the stage shots. He's actually in my backyard here in Columbus. He's in a suburb called Lancaster, so he's not far. He's actually shot a lot of my girls out at my gym here in Columbus, and he's just always been great and professional. So he's one I definitely highly recommend.
Well, I did the Ghost Town photo shoot after the Olympia in 2016 with Tiffany Uria and Brittany. I forget her last name right now. It'll come to me, but it was Amir, Jeff Binns, Ron Avidan, and JM, and then Deb came with us too. And they're all really, really good people, and they all they shoot the stage photos too, but they also do like stuff outside. It was really neat to have like the 4 perspectives of different photographers at that shoot. It was really neat. So, and I mean, to be at that shoot was an honor because they only select 3 every year, once a year, so that's pretty cool. So I know that and like Jeff Binns does a lot of stuff like in the Northeast. They all kind of have the same style, and you'll figure out like your vibe. What you like thrive in when you're doing like a photo shoot. So I really do like working with all those guys. They're all really great.
Rob Sims is another good one my clients have had good experience with as well. He does some great work. And then I actually have a photographer, videographer, Madelyn Grube. She goes by Bad Mad on Instagram. She's wonderful. She does a lot of fitness video and shoots with women as well. So she's really great at what she does.
Yeah, I am. I've never heard of Robert. I probably have seen his work though. It rings a bell, but I've never worked with him.
It's a lot for American Curves, if I remember right. And that's like a small mini magazine that they, I believe, come out with still. It might be more digital copy because everything's kind of gone that way. But he actually did a shoot in Dayton not long ago, and it was really group-oriented. So that's always cool. Because whenever you're not alone on set, I feel like that's always very comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, that's ideal too. Like if you ever go to a photo shoot, you want to bring someone with you.
Yeah.
And if the photographer doesn't let you bring someone with you, you don't go.
Yeah.
That's for me, that's always a safety precaution.
What are some red flags that would make you not shoot with somebody? That definitely being the major one. I would always feel it out and say, hey, my boyfriend's going to come. Is that okay? That's always number one.
Yeah. Like if they kind of stray away from having you bring someone with you, that's definitely a red flag. Another one is like if you hear from them randomly, like they're just a random person that just hits you up and says, hey, I'm a photographer, you want to get some pictures done? Probably not. Like, don't do that. Even if they have like a decent reputable like name, like if they, you know, you have to do your research, but I've never trusted just anybody, you know, just that just hits me up and says, do you want some photos, ever?
Yeah.
Another red flag for me that I've seen like over the years, especially like being a coach of all girls, you know, they get offers all the time, and they'll come to me and be like, hey, this guy said I can meet him at this hotel and we could shoot photos in this hotel room. Not ideal. Especially if they're just reaching out to you, like just randomly. Like, I'll be passing by, like, let's shoot in this hotel in this Red Roof Inn. No,
right.
Probably not.
Really creepy. One thing I've seen that I thought was weird, that was a red flag for me. I saw a photographer who sold the clothes that the girls wore on the shoots, which I thought was really weird. Oftentimes my clients say, what do you think of this guy? And I'm like, he's selling a pair of shoes that a girl wore for a shoot for $700. I'm going to say, hell no.
Yeah, and she ain't getting any of that money.
No. I'm just like, you can only imagine what else they sold that probably went before the shoes did. I'm like, don't go there.
Yeah, no, you've got to do your research. I mean, because like I think we've like kind of like touched on it before. Like you get a vibe from a certain photographer, and if it's not your vibe, if you're not comfortable, then you don't have to do it. There's, you know, even if there's a contract, like you do not have to do it. Like, it's just, you know.
Even if they flew you out there and they, you know, that's often a bribe I've heard through the grapevine of they'll guilt trip you. Well, we flew you out here, so you need to do this. So you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, no, you don't. Like, you just, like, if you are not comfortable, do not even get started with the photo shoot. Get out of there.
But I think that goes back to just don't go alone, especially if you don't know somebody.
Yeah, totally agree. And I know, like, there is a lot of people in this industry, and there's a lot of new people too. But as of late, like, I haven't really run into anybody that, you know, won't let me take somebody with me, or isn't well known, or you know, hasn't worked in the industry before. Like, you've got Dan Ray, you've got Dustin Raymond, those guys. You know what I mean? Like, they're awesome people. They, you know, you can trust them. I've never worked with Dan Ray, but I worked with Dustin Raymond. And, you know, he's a lot of fun too. And a lot of people work with him, and everybody's got their own little different, you know, style too. So it's neat. So I do recommend getting, you know, photos done with all of these photographers. They've all got their own little unique touch and things that they do with their photos and their actual photography. So
Dan has been around for a very long time. Probably aside from Amir, Dan was probably the second photographer I'd really heard of. And we're talking like way back in 2009 and 10. So these guys have been at it for a long time.
Yeah. And they're still here, and they're still like flying around their 50 miles an hour, making sure they're getting all the shots and stuff and booking shoots and stuff. So that might be a tractor. I'm not sure what that is. I am in the heart of Pennsylvania right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that those are all great things that we covered. And I think this is cool because this is one way we kind of protect our audience and keep them safe and keep them aware of things. I think sometimes, especially new girls in the industry, get so excited because a photographer did reach out to them. And I would say photographers are just like coaches. If they reach out to you, they need you. You don't need them. So everyone knows there's DM coaches, DM photographers. So if someone's offering you something, chances are you have more to offer them. So
right.
I typically,
yeah. And another thing too is don't drink on set unless you've already worked with a photographer and you are super comfortable with them. Yeah, that's something that you see lately too. Just want to add that in.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't drink anything anybody just gives you. Bring your own or something. You've got to do it to loosen up or whatever.
Right. That's crazy.
But yeah, no, I like your valid point. Like, it's like if they're reaching out to you and trying to bribe you into something, then odds are they definitely need you more than you need them. So they're just trying to make it, make a quick buck or make a, or make a name for themselves or something other than that.
Can you think of anyone else you'd really recommend that you like as far as photographers go?
Who all have I worked with? I've worked with a really good amount of people. Dustin Raymond, Jam I've worked with, Alan Grigsby. I worked with Sean Nelson before, but it was so quick. It was about like 25 minutes. And we got two really solid photos. But the only thing I didn't like about that is he said that, he would do the shoot for free and stuff like that and give my photos for free. And then all of a sudden turned around and charged me for them after he said, because it was a 20-minute shoot and then he charged me for the photos and they weren't cheap. So, or else I would have just taken the photos on my iPhone.
He was the last one on my list that I think we didn't mention. So I think we mentioned Alan Miami already.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think we got everybody so far. I'll throw out Nick Genero. He's more local to Columbus, Cleveland area, but he's awesome as well. Very professional. I don't think a lot of people know of him yet, but he's kind of climbing up in the industry also.
Yeah, and actually one more too. She does more like commercial work right now. She was with Angel Competition Bikinis and did all their media and stuff. Her name's Ashton Lauren Kate. And she is actually with Paul Revelia right now. She's his like team photographer now for like shows and things like that. So, and I'm assuming she's probably gonna do like all his pristine social media work, just the nice photos and videos and stuff. But yeah, she's a really good photographer, and she's new too. So I think she just started very recently and just started doing like commercial work with Angel Competition Bikinis, and now is kind of venturing out to do more stuff.
How fun was that, by the way? Not to get too off topic.
That was awesome. It was like, because you get there and you're like kind of almost prepared for it to be like show day, but then like it just proves itself to be the complete opposite. Everybody's in different shapes or forms. Nobody's stressed out. Everybody wants to have a good time. Everybody wants to get dressed and walk out there and not have to feel like there's no pressure. Nobody's waiting backstage with like headphones in their ears, stressed out or anything like that. Everybody is just back there having fun. Doesn't matter whose feet hurt. It's like, it was a completely different vibe. It was a lot of fun to be able to kind of go out there with no sort of like constructed, mandatory posing and things like that. Just go out there and kind of have a little bit of fun. The girls did such a good job on it. That's
cool. I had 3 clients in there. I don't know if you can meet any of them, but Johnny, Natasha, Johnny and Alyssa and Ariel were there. Natasha was going to go, and she ended up saving more cash for shows this year instead.
Okay. Yeah, I know there was a couple girls that didn't come for a couple different reasons, but I did meet one of your clients. She's shorter and blonde. I don't remember her name. I'm sorry.
Alyssa. Yep.
Alyssa. Okay, that sounds familiar. Yeah, she's very sweet.
She is. She's been with me for a long time, and she's had a huge transformation, and it's really exciting because this year's going to be about her like competing and doing like well, So
yeah, that's awesome. She's got a cool shape to her. I'm excited to see her already for the, her first show. That'll be cool.
Yeah, it will be.
Get on. She's with the perfect guy, so get it done.
Well, thank you. Well, what about you? Anything else going on in the industry that you wanted to bring up today?
All right. So we have had a conversation about, I don't know if the word's like poaching, but we don't like that word. We always say words and then we're like, wait, but maybe we don't like it. So when coaches reach out, or like other coaches or other teams or other pages reach out and comment on your clients' photos and things like that, I take that as like a compliment, like, thank you. That's very awesome. But there's sometimes like, oh my gosh, you look so good. And then there's like, wow, shouldn't you? There's like comments that are like, oh, wait, you could probably be eating more if you're on my team. Oh, it looks like you need this. Oh, it looks like you need this. No. So when people like do that to me just says, come give me your money.
Mm-hmm.
And because they have no idea where that client is in their progress, in their, you know, in their preps, in life, anything. They have no idea, and they just assume stuff. Like, that stuff that's so bizarre to me. And then actually people like actually believe it.
It kind of goes back. There's this new courtesy almost that needs to be recognized online. Just like, you know, when I was a trainer at a commercial gym, I saw people do things wrong all the time. And unless it was life-threatening or they were seriously going to hurt themselves, I just like kind of bit my tongue. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to ask unless, you know, they ask me.
Right.
And I think the same holds true on Instagram. You know, I feel like people will ask for my opinion if they want it. But I get that all the time with posing coaches, DMing my clients, hey, you know, we'd really like to pose you. And then posing leads to other things. And then before you know it, they've switched teams. And
yeah,
it's a little frustrating. So you see things like that. One big thing I see also is coaches posting stage photos of clients that didn't do the show with that coach. So maybe this girl is new to their team and they might post a photo from the Arnold. It's like, yeah, even do the Arnold with you. So why are you posting, you know, kind of other coaches' work on your page? Unless there's like an after, you know, and I think that's fair game.
Right, absolutely. I think if there's like changes and there's an after photo next to it, absolutely throw it up there. You know, like, show me what you made. But like, but when they just throw up, that actually irks me so freaking much. So they'll throw up like pictures of the clients when they're with you. They've got a nice first place trophy in their hands, and the prep was great. Everything was perfect, you know, and the communication was good. And you know, that's all, you know, that's what you can assume, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they reach out to another coach, they're with another coach, and this coach is using all of their photos that they had, you know, won shows with you and things like that. And saying how they're going to beat the package, or which package, that word just like freaks me out. But I get it. It's an overall package. Totally get it. But so like, and saying how they're going to beat it, and, you know, and it's almost as if they're not 100% sure they can beat it. So they have to like post a picture about it to make their new clients believe that it's possible. Do you know what I mean?
To get that initial advertisement out there. And almost, I feel like a lot of that stuff's worded in a way where it makes it look like the coach did that work.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but they're not hashtagging, you know, post with, you know, see you later, Lena, or post with Team Casey. They're not doing that. So, but I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's always the client's choice. So
I try to ask where people come from too often, because I always would feel bad if it were somebody I knew, you know, like, so I really try to, you know, not ask people who they were with unless.
Yeah, I never ask, but sometimes they just spill the beans.
Yeah, sometimes it's right there in the initial message. And there are trends. Sometimes you can just see stuff and you know who they came from just by what their protocol is or was.
Right, yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It is. You usually have a feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, again, like, I feel like you and I, because we're so, we're really well known for like our reverse diet techniques and just the way we handle it, like, you know, psychology wise too, like coming out of a show and doing all that stuff. So I think that, like, oh my God, where was I going with that? Happy Sunday. What did you say before that?
Oh, so before that, we were kind of talking about just how people post photos and then they have a new coach, you know, posting that photo where they won.
I was going to say, because we're so well known for like our reverse techniques and stuff like that, we'll see like people come to us at like 600 or 700 calories. And often like there's only, you know, I would say there's maybe like 5 coaches left that would ever even do that to their to their clients, because these clients are getting smarter and they know there's a better way to do it. You know what I mean? So often I'll get like clients from, other coaches whom I still don't know, and they'll be at 600 calories, and before you know it, they'll be at like 2,000 and looking better, and or even like way less, or or producing better things, or whatever it is, performing better. So I think that's also too another thing that we need to discuss. Nobody needs to be at 600, 700, 800 calories, 900 calories to unless you're like 4'7".
I'm seeing that like with girls that are like 12 weeks out. And that's crazy to me. It's nuts.
Yeah, no,
I go low. Maybe not that low, but
no.
Yeah, that's tough.
And if that ever happens, it's never for a really long period of time. Correct?
Correct.
Like and especially not 12 weeks out. Like that's not a gradual, like, the body doesn't like drama, I'll tell you that much.
And you should get some refeeds and some rest days in there. So just like anything else, there's a craft to, what you do. I often compare it to hiring a contractor to lay down baseboards. You want to hire a contractor that's not going to make you buy 20 pieces of wood for a 4-corner room.
Yeah.
If he makes enough cuts, he'll eventually get there. But I want a guy who can measure each wall by 4 pieces of wood and not charge me for 20.
Right. Exactly.
There's definitely
I know.
craft and some beauty in what we do.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, like, honesty is going to be the best policy too. And you bestowed that in me too. Not only was I brought up that way and I made that choice myself, but people like you just keep that vibe going. Honesty will always be the best policy. Like, if your client needs to go into an off season, stop putting them on stage.
Yeah.
Stop putting them on stage. Like, whether they want the freedom, or they're not mentally there, or they need to build more muscle, or they need a break, or whatever it is, like, honesty is the best policy there, because just collecting the money and putting them on stage it's not ideal.
No.
You know what I mean?
The bad thing is, I've had a hard time with that, because I'm very honest about girls competing. And I had a girl who just really wanted a national qualification this year. I was like, I'd rather you take an off season, we get it next year, and then we actually use it versus, letting your pass. So we parted ways, and it was actually funny, because I had sent a girl into a Florida show, and then I see my girl like kind of close to her, but just not in the mix, looking smaller, because she's dieting longer, and I want her to do well, but it's just sad because someone else basically just took her money and said, whoever that was, and said, oh, keep competing, we'll get there. And you might get lucky, you might get that NQ, but I would rather see somebody get it and earn it.
Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, she's probably gonna have to take a longer off season before she gets that national stage.
Yeah, all my
she's
girls
probably gonna have some repairing to do.
Do not step on the national stage. Like, it's definitely a decision that's made, and I have plenty of girls who got qualified that we did not put them on stage at nationals this year. So.
Yeah, who was I talking about? I was talking to somebody this past not this past weekend, but the weekend before, about people just wanting to go to nationals for the experience.
Yes, I think we were talking about that.
Yeah, and I get that, but I would never put a client into a national show that I don't think will hold up or not do well. Because some of these girls will just arrive at nationals for the experience, and then not do as well as they think, because say they've been getting first in overalls and first in overalls and first in overalls, and all of a sudden they get under 16th place or whatever at nationals, and they think that their career is over.
Right.
It's one day. So, it's just, I don't like that possibility. And I don't think that that's good for the morale either, because sometimes their careers, you see them like getting on the Olympia stage someday and they're quitting.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, or whatever, whatever it is, I see myself competing alongside of my clients here in the next couple of years. Like, I think that's going to be like the most rewarding thing in the world. So why would I put anybody on the national stage that just isn't ready?
And what I love about you too, you're going to give those clients everything you have, even if you're competing against them.
Oh my God, absolutely. Absolutely. I cry thinking about it.
Back when I competed, I had guys who I knew would end up being in the same class as me. And oftentimes I knew they were going to beat me.
Yeah. It's not even about like that. It's about like, you have to bring the body in. And if it's better than yours, it's always been better than yours. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not like a new thing.
Right. Yeah. So that's always exciting to me. So
that's just how it is.
The last guy I was supposed to compete against, his wife didn't handle him getting spray tan very well and being naked in a booth full of women. So show day came. I couldn't find him. I couldn't get a hold of him for night check-in. They had went home. And yeah, the only reason I jumped in the show was like, it's going to cost me $100 to get the backstage pass. May as well just jump into this one because it's going to cost me just as much to compete as it will to be backstage. So I ended up competing that day completely by myself, which was fine. It's just kind of another day for me. But I was really sad he didn't get to do it.
Right. Well, because that's an experience. That's something that you never forget when you get to compete alongside of one of your clients. It's cool. It's really cool. So. Like, I've competed with a lot of my girls, like that, they're I like pro-ams.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I'm telling you right now, like, and I didn't, if I didn't place, like, I won anyway, like if they won, you know what I mean? Because that joy carries over to you, like, quick. So, I mean, it's a win-win regardless. So all the efforts and things like that, it always pays off, and it's always so much fun.
That's super cool.
Yeah, we're always about the experience too, you know what I mean? Like, you could bring that 110% body, but if you're like miserable and not having a good day and experiencing where you're at, you don't win. Sorry.
I have a feeling we'll see you pop on stage sooner than later one of these days.
One of these days, maybe. It's possible.
That would be cool.
Why do you say that?
World better be ready for Kissy Santos to take the stage.
Yeah, oh my God. I cannot believe it. Oh my gosh. That's been in the making for what? That's been in our freaking journal for what? Like 5 years now?
Yeah. What was the story behind that now? What show did that happen at?
It was either a refeed meal or it was afterwards. And we were living in Newark, and we had ordered from this sushi place on the phone. And it was it's like a Portuguese Brazilian neighborhood. So they asked for my name. I said Casey Samsel, and I picked up the receipt when I got my order, and it said Kissy Santos.
That's what it was.
Kissy Santos. I almost changed my name, not gonna lie. It flows.
Got a ring to it.
It flows, and I would still be in the same lineup on stage, so.
That's true, because they do it alphabetical.
Yep.
So do you have anything going on this week that's exciting, or anything you're looking forward to?
Just getting back to, getting back to my schedule. We all thrive, in that, not having so many variables thrown at us. So I've been eating out of Ziplocs for 4 days. I'm ready to just eat on a plate.
Yeah, definitely.
And yesterday I did my cardio. I walked, I think it was like 4.25 miles to get my cardio in. And I like walking outside, but I would much rather just go get it done on an elliptical or a treadmill or something. You know what I mean? Just get it done. Because it takes a lot longer to walk, you know what I mean, and burn the same amount of calories. So
yeah.
But nothing much. I know we're going to be doing our other episode here pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll probably circle back around on Wednesday this week if we can.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to brainstorm some really awesome topics. I'll
Yeah,
get a good one. I feel like I owe you one now.
I feel like we always have an endless pit of info. So
Yeah, we do. We can stem off each other pretty good. I like it.
I'll be rollerblading a bit today. I think the weather's just too nice to not go out.
That's awesome.
I'm probably the only rollerblader left in the world. I feel like that died a pretty hard death in '92.
I mean, I think if you go to LA, you might find a couple. But
Yeah,
I used to rollerblade like all the time. Like that was like my thing.
that's awesome. We'll have to get you back into it.
Yeah, I totally will. It's a lot of fun. I'm definitely gonna have to wear knee pads because I don't trust myself anymore. But
I usually, and this would be kind of the start of my season with that. I usually start off with some pretty full padding just in case, because you're a little rusty when you get back out there. And then
yeah,
as I skate more, I start wearing a few less precautions.
my gosh. And then you start getting crazy. You start going jumping curbs and stuff.
I've never gotten that good where I like do tricks. I'm more of just like a distance skater.
The glider. I like it.
Yeah, the last
Get
skate I
places a lot
went on,
faster.
I went 22 miles, so it was a pretty long skate.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Were you feeling that the next day?
No, I've got really big wheels, so I've got a really nice smooth ride. If there's casual bikers on the trail, like on occasion, I pass them depending on just how hard they're pedaling. And
Oh.
they always look at me weird. I'm not sure because I'm passing them or just the fact that they saw someone on rollerblades.
Like this isn't the 90s.
Yeah, I passed this really old guy the other day, and he like gave me a thumbs up, and I'm like not sure if I made him feel like really young because he's like I feel like I'm in the '90s again, or
Yeah. Oh, now I gotta get myself a pair of rollerblades. I used to have the big. I want to say they're called like Alpha something, but they were like the big ones, like the thick ones, like the street skates.
yeah,
I used to like jump curves and do street stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be a daredevil. I could see that.
Well, I pick and choose my opportunities, but like I loved doing that. That was like one of my most favorite things because all my friends did it too. So
I always recommend anyone watching if you do buy a pair of rollerblades. I usually get like a 90 millimeter wheel or bigger. It's just great for fitness skating and just going for distance more so than anything.
yeah, that's awesome.
So,
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
yeah, it's like an outdoor elliptical almost.
Yeah, I honestly think I'm gonna go get some more skates because I do miss it. I just have nobody to do it with, so I'll skate. I'll skate to Ohio and we'll skate
Yeah.
together. Go get lunch.
Yeah, when you come here, we have had a lot of viewers ask about us doing a clinic together in Ohio.
Nice.
So
Yeah, let's do it.
I feel like it's only fair if we do one here, we've got to do one in Nashville as well.
Absolutely.
So
Yipper.
we'll get everywhere.
Yeah, let's do it. I like it. It's gonna be a thing.
Maybe one more small topic.
Yeah.
We had Morgan Welch asked, how do you juggle everything that you do for use?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, oh my gosh, what a great weekend to answer that. So I mean, it's crazy because for me, I have a select number of girls that I coach, and I never go above that number. I just haven't yet, and it just seems to flow with my life perfectly. So, and I spend, maybe like 4 or 5 hours a day, usually doing work, answering questions, answering emails, things like that. And for me, like what works is I'm very, very scheduled, but I'm also not to the point where if my schedule flows a little bit differently that I don't freak out. If I need to stay up until 10 p.m. at night to get my stuff done, I will. So like for me, what works for me is just being on a really tight schedule. And then I try to like obviously balance my home life too with Oscar and things like that. But like my typical week, I do check-ins Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. And then usually I'm, doing a show or something similar. Either I'm traveling or some of my girls have shows on, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So depending on how the show runs. But then Tuesday and Thursday, I schedule all of my personal stuff. I schedule like massages and things like that, and getting caught up. Like I'll, read, or I'll go sit by the pool for a couple seconds, or, doctor's appointment, vet's appointments and things like that. And then I actually make my meals because, flexible dieting, I have the whole world ahead of me. So I usually just make my meals kind of as I go, but I'll have everything already like cooked in bulk. So I'll take 3 hours, 2 days a week, and make my meals. And I'll just make a crap ton of sweet potatoes and chicken and rice and things like that. And then if I want something, sweeter outside the box, Bam Bodies, a Hershey Kiss, or an Oreo or something, then I can just pop it in, whenever. But, I think I just kind of thrive in the chaos.
That's exactly how I do it.
Yeah, I think I like it. I think it just keeps me on my toes, and I feel good. So when I'm not doing anything, I just feel like there's something wrong. Like it's like the calm before the storm. You're like waiting for something to happen.
We had kind of talked about that, how I thrive on having a decent amount of emails in my inbox to tend to, because to me that makes me feel important and needed. So it's weird because like I should enjoy Christmas and holidays and things like that. Those are the lowest volume email days I get, and it's just bizarre to me. It's bizarre to not feel needed, and I feel like I should know that it will be there December 26th, but it's just I'm a little bit of a slave to just loving what I do so much that you never want it to be gone.
Yeah, I honestly, I think it's another thing too, like you're just in control of all the variables in your life. And then like the holidays come around and it's like, you don't have all the control of all the variables in your life. So it gets a little bit like hectic in your brain, I totally agree. Like I remember on Christmas, it was just my mom and her boyfriend that came down to visit. And it was like, I think it was 2 years ago. Everybody was like cooking and like making the food different, and the way that I wouldn't do it, and I had no chickens, I had all this extra time, and I actually got so stressed out I had to leave the room, go up to the penthouse, and lay there for an hour to calm down. And I was just like, what am I supposed to do today? Like there was no check-ins, there was no questions, there was like, I was just and that's another thing too, like you've always taught me to ask questions, so I always tell my clients to ask questions, and that keeps me busy all day. So, I think we thrive kind of like in that chaos and being busy. And I feel valuable, more so when I'm busy and doing things.
Do you find when you reflect back maybe 3 years ago when you thought you were busy, now you're like, wow, when I thought I was busy, I'm not nearly as close to the capacity I'm at now?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I remember I still had time to text people. I'm so busy. Now I don't even have time to do that. That's how busy.
Yeah. And
we were supposed to do this on what, Tuesday or Monday? Wednesday?
Yeah.
We were supposed to have this done already. So, I mean, it is. It's crazy and how my week kind of unfolded. I had the show thing, and then like the obviously the flight delays, that happens all the time. That's like 50% of the time you're going to have a flight delay. Get prepared for it. Bring an extra meal. I don't know what to tell you. And then, the Blue Jay thing, and then the spontaneous, trip back here ended up, being, I was not on my own schedule, and I still had to do all my workouts and my check-ins this morning. And I wanted to make sure I got this done because I know our viewers are waiting. I always look forward to talking to you. So that always makes my week better. And this actually helps me like kind of like reel back in. Like, I think I just realized that I'm in Pennsylvania, like right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, again, like we kind of like thrive in that chaos and having the little bit of like, what am I going to do next type of thing, I guess.
And I would tell people, find value in the fact that you have so many cool things that you have to do. Like, that's awesome.
they're all opportunities. They're not things that you have to do. They're opportunities to help you better yourself, better other people, you know, educate people, all that. It's always an opportunity. Some people don't get the opportunity.
Yeah. One of my first public speaking engagements way back in the day, I had one person show up. And people are like, he's going to cancel. And I was like, no, I'm going to do everything just like if I thought I was going to have 30 people show up. And I did that.
Yeah.
And the one person who showed up has been one of my clients for like, I want to say like 6 years now.
Yeah. And then here's the thing too. You like, that was like almost like a meant to be type of situation. Like the universe kind of created it in that manner, I think, you know, because you got to have that more personal touch because you could actually connect with the person, you know, even more so than you would have, you know, because I know you always take the time to connect with, you know, everybody, but that person had your entire attention that day while you're trying to educate and, you know, just have a normal conversation that day. So that's awesome. So 6 years is a really long time. That's great.
Yep.
That's cool.
I think this was a killer, very valuable podcast today for sure.
I was hoping it would be because I think my brain is a cloud.
You always do great.
My brain is definitely a cloud, but I do hope that everybody kind of got a little bit of something from this video because I usually I'm like more like centered and more calmed down. So usually I you know, have something of value to say that I feel is of value. So, but this weekend it was a toughie, but we're here.
What I'll try to do is in the comment below, I'll try to tag the photographers who we recommended, give you guys their Instagram or their Facebook info, just so you guys can quickly find some of the photographers that we approve of and have had good experiences with, and can kind of get you guys introduced to them. So, yeah,
I think that's a good idea because then they'll go to those photographers and not the other ones.
Absolutely. Well,
if we can help it.
It was absolutely awesome spending some time together today, and we will see you guys next Wednesday on our next podcast.
Yep, and if y'all need anything, just comment below. We got you.
All right, we will see you guys next week.